I'll make this very clear. I love Pokémon. I've been playing it ever since the game came out of Red and Blue. I've been playing and still own every generation. But I can't say all of them are winners. There are some stinkers. Yes, some of them are absolutely awesome. And some of them suck. And I'm going to look here at the top 7 worst Pokémon games. Now, as always, these are my thoughts, and you let me know if I'm right or wrong. And you put your top 7 of the worst Pokémon games in the comments below. And if you do agree with me, please say why and please let me know. And let's all have a fun chat. If you do like this content, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button because it really helps with the algorithm. Let's get into this, shall we? My top 7 worst Pokémon games. At number 7, Pokémon Yellow. Yet I know that just seems odd. Well, it's not the worst game, it's just the bottom of the worst. I love Generation 1. It's great. Red and Blue are some of my favourite games of all time. Don't hate me, it is. But Yellow, I've always been a bit meh with. And I think the main reason for this is because I don't like the gym leaders in it, as it attempts to be more in line with the anime. I just prefer Red and Blue setup. It also brings Eevee into the fold. Yes, Blue uses Eevee, and I hate that. I don't like it. Eventually it evolves into Vaporeon, Flareon or Jolteon depending on your starter. I just don't like it. And I know people are going to argue, well look, you can actually have all the starters on your team. That's really cool. And yes, that is really cool. But you've got to have Pikachu. And Pikachu won't go in the ball. And Pikachu won't go in your PC. And Pikachu won't evolve. The little rats. God's sake, just become a Raichu, become my favourite Pokemon, will you? Just do what I tell you to do. In at number 6, Gold and Silver. Now again, it seems like I'm really hating on the old games. I'm not. Like, Gen 2's really good. But we just know with Gold and Silver, it's not the best way to play the game. It's either play Heart Gold or Soul Silver, or play Crystal. It's just as simple as that. Like, this could be in the best list if you want to look at those games. Gen 2 was a huge game when you got it, and it was a huge buzz around it. But you have to be honest, when you get the post-game and you get over that excitement of, oh my god, we're in Kanto, you realise it's very small and it's just a boss rush until we can get over to see our friend Red. Like, fighting Red's an absolute god. Also, the other thing that annoys me about this game is you can't get evolution stones until you get to Kanto. That is infuriating. Again, I couldn't get Raichu. That's just annoying as hell. Stupid game. Like I said, it only goes above Yellow because I have more nostalgia for Yellow in Generation 1. In at number 5, Diamond and Pearl. The 4th generation. Now this is where the game improved dramatically. The game just looked better, mechanics were sorted out, and if you know your Pokemon stuff, you know what I mean. However, for Diamond and Pearl, the game is slow. It is very slow. Also, the amount of Pokemon in this game are extremely low. To be honest, if you're going to play this generation, you play Platinum. That's the definitive version of this game. It's faster, there are more Pokemon to catch, and there's far more content. Seriously, if you play Platinum, you ain't ever going to want to play the original again because you'll look at it and go, bleh, why, bleh. In at number 4, Scarlet and Violet. Now, this should have been an amazing game. After seeing with Arceus, this should have been fantastic. It was a great direction, I thought, with the game. Seeing the Pokemon run around and doing its own thing, that was great. The game was open-ended, and it was actually quite difficult. And I said I've been playing this for a long time, and I was struggling at some points. I love playing this as the current VGC, or video game format, and because I'm good, shut up. And I love the story and how it gets really dark. I like the final boss, I like the future and past elements, I love some of the new designs of our Pokemon. But the reason why it's on this list is, and why I hate it so much, was that the game was broken on release. It should have never come out. It was a disgrace, to be honest. There were bugs throughout and an horrendous frame rate. This should have been put back in the oven and delayed a year to try and fix everything. But what really annoys me is that Game Freak knew that this was the case and still went, yep, we're putting this out. Not an issue, don't worry about it, the fans are still going to buy it. And that's what's really wrong with modern day gaming. Keep it back in the oven, screw the shareholders, and give the fans what they truly deserve. In at number 3, Sun and Moon. The Aloha region. It was completely different to all other regions, and well, of course it's going to be, because it's based around Hawaii. I don't like the starters here. In fact, it was actually the first time, and the only time, I didn't pick the water starter. It did bring us in Sun Era though, which meant you have to have on every team ever seen to man, because it is just kind of goated. I also hated how he's far too happy, and all I wanted to do was just slap his face every time he came on the screen. Honestly, I just did. It had very, very long cutscenes, like an insane amount of cutscenes that went on for so long. I also didn't like the Elite Four, mainly because it's made up of those people you already fought. Yes, I know it's a brand new one. Shut up. I did like the Totem Pokemon. I thought they were quite cool to fight, but I didn't like the trials that led up to it. Like, ooh, go make me a meal. Shut up, I don't like that. Just give me the old gyms. Don't give me something where I have to do a stupid little task beforehand. Also, a year later, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out, and it made this version completely obsolete. Like, I can't see any reason to play the original ever again. At number 2, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Now, I will be fair with this game. I know this is meant for younger children. I know that. Alright, let's just say, oh, it's because you don't like it, it's a children's game. Well yeah, that's simply it. I get it, it's not for me. It is like baby's first Pokemon game. The game is ridiculously easy, and Pokemon would sometimes even stop themselves to fainting to keep you happy. No, you should faint and go to the Shadow Realm. I didn't like the throwing mechanic as well, but again, I have to keep saying, this isn't for me. I was playing this game when I was 11, and she's now 5, so this will be a perfect way for her to get into it, and an easier way than I had to digest back when I was a kid. So if they do decide one day to bring Let's Go Johto, then I'll probably buy that for her, because again, it's a way to digest those games. But just sadly, it's not for me. And in at number 1, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Yes, the worst Pokemon game on the list. It's just a straight reskin of Diamond and Pearl. Now, for a bit of backstory, fans who were desperate for a remake of Generation 4 for years. Every time there was a Pokemon Presents, we all thought we were going to be getting somewhere. And finally, when the trailer dropped, the internet just cried. People didn't like the designs of the characters, and whilst I was willing to let them go at first, they've not grown on me. This isn't Zelda. That game gets a pass. The other problem with this game, it was just an upscaled version of Diamond and Pearl. And you look at it and go, why didn't you do Platinum? Yeah, there's no elements of Platinum in this game. Platinum is awesome. It's right there. Just do Platinum. And it was possibly because Platinum didn't sell very well back in the day, and maybe they were just a bit scared, so went with originally Diamond and Pearl, but that was the wrong way forward. In reality, if you're going to give me a choice, I'd rather just play Diamond and Pearl on the DS. It's exactly the same experience, I just prefer that animation. This felt just like a big swing and a miss, but hopefully it's also a big learning lesson for Game Freak if they do decide they want to make another remake. And that's it, that's my list, that's my top 7 worst Pokemon games. What do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments below, and I want to hear your thoughts. Until next week, I should also say, put what game you think I should be doing or what topic I should be covering, because it's always nice to have ideas. Until then, I'll see you all next week for another top 7. Take care of yourself, bye bye.